Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back or welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, this is in medias res, where we start in the middle of things. That is what my tattoo means, starting in the middle of things, as I think that life does, kind of randomly, you know, just kind of. In my last video, I showed you guys the first part of my big thrift haul, and those were all clothes that I had purchased from Goodwill. I had talked about how I am a working actress. On my way to my work day, I stopped at a few Goodwills, and in a separate occasion, I stopped at another store that I will mention at the end of this video. So if you are in that area in Texas, Central Texas to be more specific, then you are a lucky pal. This is a store that is owned by a person that I know, and I've been shopping there for years. As far as I can remember, his prices have always been pretty good in comparison to things that I see online that are thrifted, vintage, things that have like Peter Pan collars, old school retro button-up blouses, which you might see in this video, overalls, high-waisted shorts. I think that this store is really good about having all sorts of things. I scored some stuff that I'm about to show you from the store, but there is another that also always has really cute clothes, and this is a store that my friend showed me in 2014 or 2015, I want to say. We were in college. In the last video, when I was editing, I realized I was talking about college a lot. And it really is because so much happened, and I feel like I met so many people, I had so many great experiences, and that was like when I really truly realized that I had a sort of passion for fashion and for thrifting, and so many other things happened around that time. So like I said, my friend she introduced me to this store called Buffalo Exchange. Maybe some of you guys have heard of Buffalo Exchange before. So I want to read you the sort of mission statement of Buffalo Exchange and why I really like shopping there. Granted, sometimes I feel like certain locations in Texas are a little overpriced, but they do have a lot of really cute things. They definitely know what clothing pieces to buy off of people, because they do buy off of people, and I believe they also trade. So I want to give you the statement that's on their website about giving back. So it reads, Buffalo Exchange works to protect the environment by reusing and recycling clothing. Customers buy, sell, and trade clothing, giving it a second life and avoiding contributing to the demand and waste of clothing pollution. We are committed to supporting the communities and environments in which we operate by having environmentally conscious practices and giving charitable contributions, some of which are mentioned below. So they do trade, they buy off of people, and then they obviously sell clothes. I love to buy the clothes that they sell. I don't think I've ever tried selling to Buffalo Exchange, but maybe in the future I will decide to do that. If not, I will sell through Poshmark or Depop, or if there's another sort of social media medium. So if you guys are interested in any of my clothes, just let me know. And I do have an Instagram where you can see a lot of my clothes. In fact, I've been posting a lot of my old outfits. A lot of those pictures will show outfits of clothes that I have actually put on Poshmark. I still have a lot of work to do in terms of uploading clothes that I own, and I feel like lately I haven't been too attached to a lot of my pieces. Like I'm really in love with them, but I think my mindset has really changed in regards to the ownership of the clothes and being able to let go of certain things, unlike how I used to be for so many years, and why I had kind of collected so many things that I didn't even wear anymore. In some cases, I do regret giving away or selling some things, but it is really rare that I will think about something that I've given away or lost or sold, but there are some things that I'm really attached to, but those are rare. If you guys are interested in something that you see, whether it's in this video, in the last video, which I will link below, and I will also put a card here that you can go over and watch that after this video, or if you want to go watch that one first, then you can come back and watch this one. So something about Buffalo Exchange that I read earlier is that they have this thing called tokens for bags. They actually don't have any sort of bags for you to carry your stuff out in. You can take your own bag if you'd like, but they have this thing called tokens for bags. On their website, it reads, "Through our Tokens for Bags program, shoppers are offered a token in place of a bag, which they can donate to one of 3 local charities. For each token, we donate 5 cents to that charity." Since its creation in 1994, Buffalo Exchange has raised over $803,000 for thousands of local nonprofit organizations. Many of the beneficiaries are animal rescues and shelters, community food pantries, children and family funds, women's support shelters, homeless aid, LGBTQ organizations, environmental causes, and local library or school organizations. Every token a customer has donated represents a plastic bag that was not added into circulation. Thanks to our customers, we are proud to have kept over 16.06 million plastic bags from polluting the environment. That's something that I've always really liked about Buffalo Exchange. Instead of them giving you a bag, they give you a little token after your purchase, and then they have this sort of like a wooden organizer, and each section is separated by the name of the charity that they are contributing to. So you get to choose which charity you would like to donate that token to. So that percentage of the sales actually goes to that charity. So throughout the years, throughout all of my used clothes purchases, I've donated to a lot of different ones. Whichever one resonates with me at the time, that's the box that I decide to put my token in. So it always changes. I'm not sure what the locations are for Buffalo Exchange, but I really love this store because of what it stands for and that they have an option like this. I don't think I've ever seen a plastic bag in a Buffalo Exchange store, which is very interesting. Granted, the first location that I went to was in Austin, Texas, and Austin, Texas, I believe, had banned plastic bags, which is really cool. I could definitely be better about using plastic bags. One thing you guys should know, if you aren't in the Hispanic community yourself, us Hispanic folks, I won't speak for everybody, but I know that it's very common around my community anyway. We recycle bags like no tomorrow. We use it for everything. If we sell, if we go to the flea market, right? We call it la pulita, la pulga. If we go to the flea market and sell, we have plastic bags that we got from Walmart, and then we just put our stuff in there. Here you go. Thank you for coming to Walmart.com. So yeah, but we could definitely be better about the checkout process at stores like H-E-B or Walmart or CVS, Walgreens, whatever it is. I think that the whole world can. But I will definitely try to be more conscious about those things, and seeing this kind of gives me a little bit more of a reminder as to why I kind of started this whole journey of thrifting. I may or may not have mentioned it in the video before this one that I uploaded last week, but thrifting for me didn't start off as a trend. I don't think that it was as prominent as it is now. Back in 2014, social media was kind of limited to Instagram, Snapchat, I believe, was gaining popularity. Facebook was definitely a thing. Also YouTube, but at the time I wasn't really making any content for YouTube. I think I made maybe like 2 or 3 videos of like my friends and I having fun. Other than that, I didn't really see too much of the whole thrifting and buying secondhand clothes. And I think that it's becoming more prominent now because we have so much information being given to us about how, at least in this country, the US, we are shamefully really good at shopping. We are probably the best at shopping and getting into debt and not wearing masks. So I would like to believe that the thrifting and buying secondhand or used clothing and recycling, reusing clothes is because of the growing concern for our environment. But I don't think that's entirely true. I think some of us do try very hard to do the most in the ways that we can. Some of us, and I will speak for myself, maybe think that we do more than we actually do, and I think that we like to think that by doing these things it's going to solve a lot of problems, and I'm not saying that it will not. I know that reusing and recycling clothes and buying secondhand is one of the best things that we can do. We can stay trendy, we can stay cute, and style evolves, right? I do think that buying secondhand, thrifted, used clothing, recycling, reusing clothing, giving it away wherever we can to whoever needs it, and kind of reselling stuff that we're no longer using that other people would like to use. I think that that is a big step in the right direction, but I don't think that it has always come from a good place. I'll speak for myself as well. I don't think that the whole intention is because of the environment. I would love to be that person, to be so pure and whole and kind and always thoughtful of the environment and those around me, but I know that I'm not. And some of the time it's just because I see a really cute thing and I'm like, I like that. I want to wear it. But anyway, that is just a little explanation as to why I like thrifting and why I support these stores. I've already mentioned one of the stores, which is Buffalo Exchange. You can look up the locations online. I feel like they might have them throughout the US. I'm not sure if it's an international brand or chain, whatever you would call it, but it is a store that I recommend. And one thing that concerns me about sharing this piece of information, I'm sure a lot of people already know, but if it's new information to some of you, I really would hate for people to take advantage of a store like that, especially one that currently has good prices for people who don't always have the money to spend on luxurious items. And I don't think that luxurious items are something that we need, but sometimes it's nice, you know, to see something that's like brand new, or maybe just like name brand because it's like a quality item, quality material. But to me, there's something also really exciting about taking something that someone has already owned for a while, something that they've wanted to get rid of. They kind of, maybe they were bored of it, maybe they needed to sell it for some money, depending on their situation. I like the opportunity to look at all these clothes that people have sold or donated. Whenever I see something that I like, whether it's a color that stands out, the shape of something like a jumpsuit, or the pattern, I feel like my brain goes miles a minute and it'll just come up with an outfit on the spot, or something very close to what I actually end up doing later on with that clothing piece. And to me, that's like one of the more exciting things. I'm not gonna get into the whole fast fashion thing because I feel like there are a lot of videos that talk about that, especially on YouTube, and I agree with a lot of the things that people say. I know that there are some people who strongly suggest or kind of even look down on other people who buy from fast fashion companies, but one thing I will say is that not everyone has the option to choose otherwise, because even though I may think that this secondhand jumpsuit is affordable to me, maybe half of the price that I paid for this is what another person is able to afford for the whole outfit, or a blouse, some jeans, whatever it may be. Brands like Shein or Romwe, I don't know if you pronounce it that way, but fast fashion brands, I understand the convenience of them. Future Danny quickly interrupting to say that when I say convenience, I mean the affordability to individuals or families who do not have the budget to afford more expensive brands. But I also know that fast fashion contributes to a lot of waste in our world because of the mass production and methods used to make such clothing. Not to mention the labor endured by people who do not end up making a livable wage unless their labor is excessive, heavily supervised, and in terrible working environments. I really can only speak for myself in this matter because not everyone finds themselves in a position to be able to afford more than the clothing provided by fast fashion brands for its affordability and tendency to stay on trend. Additionally, the question is brought up regarding whether people with a higher household income should be shopping at a used clothing store or not. And I personally believe that this is dependent on what that individual's financial situation is and whether buying buying and reselling clothes is actually a part of their livelihood. I do believe, however, that there are individuals who do take advantage of the situation, and if reselling clothes they have found from a store like Goodwill will end up selling it for a ridiculous amount of money that only really high income households would be able to afford anyway. But this brings the question of whether these clothes have then created a market solely for high income individuals, and whether this in turn helps reduce the amount of clothing pollution of new luxury brand item purchases coming from these households. I myself have shopped from sites like this, and I'm not saying that I never will. I don't think that that's a realistic standard that I want to hold for myself. This is because one can never be too certain of their financial situation, and just because it may be decent now does not mean it will always be. Granted, shopping secondhand is a lot more affordable than shopping from fast fashion brands has been for me. I would love to think that my financial situation would only improve from here on out, and I certainly ask of the universe to send me blessed abundance in finances. However, I also understand that situations can change, finances fluctuate, and life lessons come to us in all forms. If I'm being honest, I think that I will try in the ways that I'm able to, and the ways that I, at the time of making those decisions, will find suitable for the situation. Something that I also mentioned in my other video was I may not always like buying thrifted, secondhand, used, recycling fashion. I don't really see myself not liking it. I've kind of always had a thing for old stuff, vintage, thrifted. I think that if a clothing piece speaks to me, then I will likely buy it. And sometimes it's gonna be a brand new thing that I see at the store, but I will say that I have minimized the kind of spending that I am able to do with my budget and in our family's budget. And when I say our family, I mean my husband and I. I try to minimize that, and a really good reason for me to keep doing this instead of going shopping for brand new clothes is because it is more cost effective for me and for us, and it is one of the better things that we can do for the environment. At least in my part, that is what I'm trying to do. I'm not a saint, I am not perfect. I'm not saying that I purely shop sustainable. That is not true at all. I do what I can. I do it where and when I can. I don't know for how long I've talked in this video already, but I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the store that I got most of these clothes from and why I like to go thrifting and shopping. Let's get into the clothes and the outfits. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm actually a really big fan of motorcycles, and I myself want to get a Harley Davidson one day, very soon hopefully, and this shirt was just kind of a motivation for me to actually keep pursuing that. This shirt is from Vagabond. This black vest with the roses and the fringe is another piece that I got from Vagabond, and I really just have been digging fringe a lot lately, and I think it would be great for the summertime. This off-the-shoulder pink and white blouse I thought was super cute. I saw it obviously on the hanger. I couldn't try it on at the store, but I just knew that I would love the way it would look on me because I used to hate my shoulders and I thought that they looked very masculine. I think that I just really needed to work on my posture, and I've become way more accepting of my body in general, but buying pieces like this that kind of accentuate the areas that I once really despised, I think is really fun, and I also like that it was very feminine and cute. On the flip side though, this blouse reminded me of that one Disney Channel movie from 1999 called Don't Look Under the Bed. The one imaginary friend / ghost that helps the main character get rid of the boogeyman. Does anyone else remember this movie? It also makes me really think of the movie Interview with a Vampire with Tom Cruise as Lestat. Here I'm definitely channeling my dad in the 70s because him and my mom definitely looked like models and I take a lot of inspiration from the pictures that I've seen of my dad when he was young. Both he and my mom, I think, were very iconic in their fashion choices. Even if they didn't have a lot of money to buy the clothes that they did back then, I feel really inspired by the choices that they made and how they decided to present themselves to people. This orange romper I got from Buffalo Exchange. The previous blouse that I just showed you was from Vagabond. Now this romper I thought was really classy and it looked very comfortable, almost to the point of I want to look like a boss but I don't want to work for it kind of vibe. I mentioned in my other video about how stores aren't letting you try on clothes, which makes total sense, but when I first put on this dress I thought, oh my god, this looks like a bathrobe. And I kind of still think that it does, but it's actually like a corduroy material, and if you pair it with the right boots, pair it with some cute accessories, then it will not look like a robe. Maybe it still will, but it's a cute and classy robe. I call this one my Boss AB outfit, if you know what I mean. I just thought it was very powerful, and when I saw it on the rack I realized that it had brand new tags, so someone bought it and never wore it, and I just thought, man, I can't let this fine ass piece of clothing go to waste. Something to keep in mind if you are going out and shopping for clothes, whether it be brand new clothes or at a thrift store, since you can't try on clothes at the moment, you are kind of taking a gamble on the size. So try to get to know what your body is like in the current state. I actually didn't think that this would fit, but I really wanted to see if I could squeeze into it, and it actually fits very comfortably. It's a size lower than I would normally expect to be, but I'm glad I bought it. It is actually my favorite piece from this entire collection. I can't wait to wear it. This one I thought was really fun, and I just feel like the ultimate mechanic princess. I don't know how to describe the feeling. I feel both masculine and feminine at the exact same time, and it feels amazing. It is also corduroy material, and I got this from Buffalo Exchange as well. So the retro 80s kind of jumpsuit that you see me wearing as I'm talking throughout the video, it is actually from Buffalo Exchange as well, and it strongly reminded me of the character Lisa P from Adventureland, played by Margarita Levieva.
How's the wine?
It's good.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but my fashion choices tend to lean towards that decade, including Victorian fashion as well as probably the 70s as well, but I guess that's just me trying to live out multiple lives in one. I know I keep talking about shows and movies, and I'm obviously very influenced by film and television because I am an actress, but this tracksuit slash two-piece reminds me of Professor Mishka Mayakovsky. He's like this Russian excommunicated professor from Breakbills University, which is where the magicians attend, and they have to use him for some sort of advice and mentorship. He also always looks like a pimp and is a total asshole. But he does have his redeemable qualities, of course. Also, I'm really sad that the magicians got cancelled because they have some amazing pieces of dialogue, and the acting I think is like really fun, and the storyline is something that I haven't seen before, done with the pretty popular genre of supernatural sort of hero's journey. This tracksuit is also from Buffalo Exchange. I'm a really big fan of jumpsuits, what can I say? I like the puffy sleeves. It also reminds me of The Runaways and Joan Jett. For some reason, this gives me very Cherry Bomb vibes. It is also corduroy, and I'm a very big fan of the bell bottoms that the jumpsuit has. It makes it look even more 70s, which is a total mood. Lastly, I got this vintage brown fringe leather jacket, and I honestly thought that it was going to be way more expensive than it turned out to be. So I knew that I had to get it. I fell in love with it. And following up, I kind of give my perspective on buying secondhand clothing that contains some sort of animal skin material or animal fur, things like that. This was my absolute favorite piece from the entire haul. This jacket was purchased from Monkeys. Alright, so that is it for this video. This was my big thrift haul from Goodwill, Vagabond, and Buffalo Exchange. In the beginning of this video, I talked a little bit about Buffalo Exchange and their mission statement and why I like shopping there. In my previous video, I've talked about Vagabond and why I like shopping there. That is a local business to San Marcos, Texas. I actually went to school in San Marcos at Texas State University, and that was was really the time where I didn't have a lot of money, wasn't really into shopping for brand new clothes. I remember passing by this store, Vagabond. It just immediately caught my attention because of the name. And I was like, this has to be some sort of affordable secondhand kind of clothing store. So at the time it wasn't very affordable to me, but I got several pieces that I still have today that I refuse to let go of because I think that there is some sort of attachment with the experience of college and the people that I had surrounded myself with at the time and what those clothing items mean to me. So I still have some of those special clothing items in my wardrobe. I did show you some of the pieces that I got from Vagabond. There is another store that I forgot to mention, and I can't believe I forgot this because I got one of my favorite pieces from this store, and it is actually another local thrift shop in San Marcos, Texas. So if you're not from Texas, maybe when you come down to visit Austin or San Antonio, they do have some Buffalo Exchange locations in San Antonio. I'm sure they have other local thrift shops as well. If you have any suggestions for the San Antonio area or Houston area, I tend to go to those locations a lot for work. I would appreciate any suggestions in the Central Texas area or Southwest Texas area. One of the other stores that I forgot to mention, and that is because I only got 2 items from there. Honestly, they're like 2 of my favorite pieces. I think I've said that about a lot of the clothes that I got because they're all really cool to me, but I got the vintage Calvin Klein overalls, which were the perfect fit for me, and I took a gamble, but they were very, very well priced in my opinion for them being Calvin Klein and vintage especially. I felt like it was a steal. Another thing that I got from this store called Monkeys, which has a location in Austin, Texas and San Marcos, Texas, was the brown leather fringe jacket with the roses in the front and then in the back. I should mention, one thing that I don't think I will go and deliberately do is go to a store and buy a brand new leather jacket or a fur jacket. I just don't really see a point to buying something that's brand new and causing more chaos. If I'm kind of hesitant to buy from a store like Shein or Romwe, then I'm definitely hesitant to buy animal products that are brand new. In this case, my brown leather fringe jacket that I got from the store Monkeys, this is a product that has clearly been around for probably 20 to 30 years. It is a very old jacket and I felt very connected to it. In the past, I've been gifted a leather jacket, and for the most part, if someone ever has me for like a gift exchange of some sort, or if it's my birthday and they know that I like jackets, they'll give me leather jackets. But I'm not really for buying brand new leather or even wool. I do have some gray wool pants that I got from one of the Buffalo Exchange locations in San Antonio. It's stuff that's sitting there and I feel like I will make use of it and I will honor it as best as I can. The brown leather jacket is something that I felt very connected to, and I really wanted to appreciate it and care for it and honor it and love it and wear it in a nice way, you know? So I know that some people think you could say that about a brand new leather jacket, but that's not exactly true for me. I feel like if I were to go to the store and buy a brand new animal product material jacket or shirt, blouse, whatever it may be, I think that the sentiment is kind of lost. That's not me disapproving of anyone else's life. I've said that about my vegetarian food choices. People have asked me if I'm okay with them eating a burger in front of me, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't have to ask me. You know, it's like, that is my choice. These are my choices. This is my life. This is the way that I've chosen to live it. And we're not always sure what's going to happen in life. Like, I say that because I may be vegetarian now, but in the future, I don't know if I'm going to be. I don't know if my circumstances will change, if I will have the luxury to be vegetarian, or if I will be in that same mental or emotional or physical state as I am now. In 2014, I became vegetarian, and I had several weeks of a downfall from that where I actually consumed animal products, and then I decided to quit cold turkey, LOL, and go vegan for 6 months. And after going vegan for 6 months, I lost a lot of weight. I actually felt really good, and I feel like my creativity level was just like at a spike. But at the time, I don't think I was doing it for the right reasons, and decided to take a step back and try out the vegetarianism again. So in 2015, I officially cut out all kinds of animal meat. I do consume eggs, I do consume dairy every now and then, even though it hurts my stomach. I don't think I live a really strict lifestyle when it comes to my vegetarian choices. Even if there is a little piece of it in my food, I don't ever complain about it. If someone decides to make me a meal and it has meat, I will just not eat it. And if they ask me, that is when I will tell them. But I felt like it was appropriate to mention. Some of my friends know that I'm vegetarian, and I feel like a lot of people have this notion of vegetarians and vegans being the exact same thing. We're not. I hope that this is stuff that has made sense to you guys, depending on why you clicked on this video in the first place, whether it's because you know me and you're on my Instagram, or you saw my video on TikTok. I appreciate you sticking till the very end and watching all of my video, and if you have time to watch my other stuff, I would really appreciate it. Thank you for liking or disliking if you did not like this video. Engagement really matters. I haven't been getting as many views as I would like. Obviously, I don't think a lot of us do, because this algorithm is really weird to figure out. Much like the TikTok one, much like the one on Instagram. Poshmark, though, for some reason, is like very good about people following me so far. If you guys have any suggestions, or if you guys have any recommendations for any new stores that I have not mentioned so far, mentioned Goodwill, obviously, Vagabond, Buffalo Exchange, and Monkeys. Those are some of my favorite stores right now. Some of you guys may be thinking like, Goodwill, what the fuck? Like, why do you? But I don't have the kind of budget to go shopping. But out of all of the ones that I mentioned, I feel like the one that would rank first in price from just this shopping experience alone would be Goodwill first. Secondly would be Monkeys. Thirdly would be Buffalo Exchange, and fourth would be Vagabond. But if you're into retro fashion, vintage, thrifted, secondhand, I highly recommend visiting those stores. And especially if you are someone who does not have a lot of money to spend on your fashion choices, but you still want to kind of feel yourself even if you're not going anywhere, or if you go somewhere once a month these days. Don't forget to check out my Instagram account and my TikTok account. Engagement matters, like I said. Weird algorithms all around, and trying to figure it all out. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for the next one.